Hello, everyone. Welcome to Weekly VOC News, where we bring you the latest and the most significant news around Chinland this week. My name is Alvin, and here are tonight's news headlines. CNF-CNA declares no intention to attack fellow resistant-controlled areas, including Falam. The Chin National Front, Chin National Army CNF-CNA has clarified that it has no intention to launch attacks or take control of any township in Chinland that is already under the administration of other Chin revolutionary forces, including Falam. Also in the similar news, following the successful recapturing and control of Requadar town in the Hualnguram region by the Chin National Army CNA and CDF Hualnguram, thousands of refugees who had previously fled to Mizoram State, India, are now reported to be returning to their homes. In another news in Chinland, the Chinland Defense Force Hakka, CDF Hakka, has intercepted and seized a large shipment of narcotic drugs, including yaba, methamphetamine, tablets, and heroin, being transported by vehicle to the Falam township via the Var Bridge. The drugs were reportedly moved under the protection of a recommendation letter from the commander of Infantry Battalion No. 15 based in Yemabin District, Sagaing Region. CNF-CNA states it has no intention to attack any townships already controlled by other Chin resistance forces, including Falam. The Chin National Front, Chin National Army CNF-CNA has officially stated that it has no intention to attack or take control of any township within Chinland, including Falam town, that is already under the control of other Chin revolutionary groups. This clarification came after recent accusations surfaced claiming that the CNA was attacking Falam as a counteroffensive following the CNO-CNDF's recent invasion of Hualnguram area. Including Falam town, we have no intention to attack and take control of any township that is already under the administration of other forces in Chinland. The areas we have jointly liberated speak for themselves. We are not trying to govern these areas. The local people themselves discuss and make decisions. We respect those decisions, read the official statement released by the CNF Secretariat Office on July 11th. CNF-CNA emphasized that Chinland is more than just a township or a region. It represents the collective interests and shared future of all Chin people. The organization said it prioritized the protection of people's lives and properties and is focusing its efforts on military victory to ensure the success of the revolution. Thousands of refugees returned home after CNA and CDF Hualnguram region control of Requadar. Following the recapture of Requadar town in Hualnguram area by the Chin National Army CNA and CDF Hualnguram, thousands of refugees who had previously fled to Mizoram State in India are now reportedly returning to their homes. On July 2nd, CNO-CNDF and its allied forces launched an incursion into the Hualnguram region, leading to clashes with the local resistance group CDF Hualnguram. By July 5th, the CNO-CNDF forces had captured Requadar, a key town located at Border Trade Zone No. 2 on the India-Myanmar border. As a result of the fighting, over 1,000 civilians, particularly from wards No. 1 and No. 2 Teotiwa in Requadar, fled across the border into the village of Zokotar in Mizoram, India. Requadar is both an administrative base operated by HPO-CDF Hualnguram and a region under the control of CNA's Military Region 4. CNO-CNDF and its allies maintained control over the town from July 5th to July 10th. On the morning of July 11th, around 5 a.m., they withdrew from Requadar. Since then, CDF Hualnguram and CNA forces have resumed full control of the town, and starting from the morning of July 11th, displaced residents have been allowed to return. According to a CDF Hualnguram official, approximately 80% of the town's population has already returned to resettle. During the 5-day occupation of the town by CNO-CNDF and allied forces, many homes were reportedly looted. Numerous valuables, large sums of cash, and over 20 motorcycles were stolen. CDF Hualnguram stated that they are still recording the incidents of burglary, and property loss, and the exact extent of damages is not yet known. However, preliminary reports from Teotiwa Ward Number 2 indicate that over 10 homes were broken into. Stolen items reportedly include over 15 million jet in cash, more than 1.8 million Indian rupees, jewelry, and more than 20 motorcycles. In addition, donations meant for religious use were allegedly stolen. Authorities believe the number of break-ins and total losses may increase as more information comes in. CDF Wangoram expressed a heartfelt gratitude to the administration, youth associations, and civil society organizations of Zokwatar village in Mizoram, who warmly welcomed and cared for the fleeing refugees during the clashes. CDF Hakka seizes massive drug shipment transported under military endorsement, key suspects on the run. On July 8th, the Chinland Defense Force Hakka, CDF Hakka, intercepted a major shipment of narcotics, including approximately 3 million methamphetamine Yabat tablets and around 110 kilograms of heroin, being transported by vehicle toward the Var Bridge in Phalam Township. The shipment was reportedly backed by a recommendation letter from the commander of Infantry Battalion Number 15 in Yemabin District, Sagaing Region. According to a statement released by CDF Hakka on July 10, the drugs were being transported in a Hilux 9K 1693 and a four-lane truck 1J6011 owned by Kosotu. The seizure occurred within Hakka Township. In addition to the narcotics, CDF Hakka also apprehended 3 resistant fighters, revolutionary soldiers, 1 driver, 1 scout, 2 rifles, and 2 mini Starlink devices. However, 2 key figures included in organizing the drug transport, Zolet, real name U Winmo, and Gobadi, real name Ucho Minzo, managed to flee the scene and are currently on the run. The seized narcotics were destroyed by fire on July 9th, and CDF Hakka announced that the arrested individuals will be dealt with according to the law. In response to the incident, the Selingi Special Task Force, SSTF, under Infantry Battalion 15, released a statement on July 10, confirming that the unit's commander, Go Po Tao, had indeed issued a recommendation letter for the transport of the vehicles and 4 resistant soldiers for a quote-unquote demolition mission. However, the SSTF insisted that the drug trafficking was a personal act by the involved soldiers and had no connection with the organization. Investigations are now underway to apprehend the fugitives Zolet Winmore and Gobadi Jo Minzo. Authorities have pledged to impose strict punishment on those responsible. Furthermore, the Ministry of Defense (MOD) under the National Unity Government (NUG) will conduct its own investigation. The captured suspects will be handed over to MOD, and those still at large will be arrested and transferred to them. On July 12, SSTF confirmed that Gobadi, aka Chominzo, the main figure responsible for the drug operation, was arrested after attempting to contact Gopolong, a local commander under the Bakoku District People's Defense Force (PDF) in Selingi Township. Arakan Army AA allegedly providing military support to Chin Brotherhood groups, says ISP Myanmar. The Arakan Army AA is reportedly providing partial or full military support, including weapons and training, to all member groups of the Chin Brotherhood (CB), according to a report on July 9th by the Institute for Strategy and Policy Myanmar (ISP), an independent research group monitoring Myanmar's political and military developments. The findings were published in a research paper titled, quote-unquote, When Spears Clash, Power Struggles, and Alliance in Rakhine State, which examines the status and influence of AA and its allied forces. According to the report, the Arakan Army has supported at least 23 armed groups that emerged after the military coup by supplying arms, ammunition, and military training, either partially or fully. These groups have been operating military in over 60 townships across the country, with 18 of them reportedly collaborating directly with the AA and its political wing ULA in border areas of Chim, Magwe, Bago, and Ayeyarwady regions. Among the 15 AA-supported allied groups, six are members of the Chin Brotherhood (CB) and based in Chinland: CDF Mindat, CNO-CNDF, ZFU-PDF Zoland, MDF, CDF Matapi, CDF Kampalet. The report states that these Chin Brotherhood forces were able to seize control of strategic areas like Mindat Matapi Kampalet, southern Chinland, and Falam, northern Chinland, with the assistance of AA's military resources. In addition, CDF Asho and a CDF operating in Magwe region are also identified as two of the eight allied groups functioning under AA's military coordination system. While the Arakan Army continues to support Chin resistant groups with military resources, it has also controversially included Bulawayo Township in southern Chinland as part of Rakhine State's proposed 8th district. AA is also said to have assumed control of the Galadan Multimodal Transport Project, a key India-Myanmar bilateral infrastructure development project that runs through Bulawayo. Elected Chin lawmakers urge CNF-CNA, CDF Huanguram, and CNO-CNDF to immediately halt armed clashes and seek political solutions. Chin lawmakers elected in the 2020 general election have called on all Chin revolutionary forces, namely CNF-CNA, CDF Huanguram, and CNO-CNDF, to immediately cease ongoing armed conflicts and to resolve their differences through political dialogue rather than military means. In a statement issued on July 10, the lawmakers expressed deep regret over the recent armed clashes arising from misunderstandings and disagreements among allied revolutionary forces. They emphasized that such internal conflicts are especially disheartening at a time when efforts are being made to establish the Chin National Council (CNC) to unify the Chin people under a common political front. The statement highlighted that unity among Chin resistance groups is essential for the success of the revolution against the military dictatorship. The lawmakers reiterated that the Chin revolutionary struggle is being carried out through the sacrifices of blood, life, and sweat, and that cohesion and solidarity are crucial to achieving victory. Therefore, they earnestly appealed to all Chin armed groups and the entire Chin public to participate in efforts to rebuild unity among the revolutionary forces, urging full collaboration in the name of unity solidarity. The ongoing conflict was sparked after CNO-CNDF forces launched an offensive into the Huanguram area on July 2nd, attacking and seizing Rukwada town, which is both the base of CNA's Military Region 4 and the center of local administration operated by HPO-CDF Huanguram. The offensive led to an escalation in tensions between the groups. However, on the morning of July 11th, CNO-CNDF forces withdrew from Rikodar, and the town was rescued by CNA and CDF Huanguram. That is all we have for the news in Chinland this week. Thank you for supporting VOC, and have a good week.